Jered Warrens.
Hey,
welcome
to
yes.
the show.
Yes,
I'm glad you got me in my good ear. So.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So we decided we don't really know what in the world we're going to talk about tonight, but I have a feeling it's going to be motorcycle and health related.
Hey, that's fine.
Because didn't you just run in a marathon?
No, I ran it was the Yote 25K. It was a 25K up at Tar Halla. A trail.
How many miles is 25K?
It's 15 and a half miles.
15 and a half miles.
Yep.
Through the woods.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's a brutal one.
Now how did you get into that, Jered?
Well, I've always been a bit of a meathead. I mean, I've been lifting since the 1980s, and got sick of hurting.
Yeah.
I got sick of my back hurting, sick of tearing pec muscles and things like that. So
you've always been a
had to
a
find
lifter.
a new way.
I had to find a new way to still exercise and keep myself, healthy for the job and all that stuff. And running just seemed like, I don't know, a good way to get into, a good way to do that, I guess. And
now, are you one that, did you always enjoy running before, or was it hard to get into it?
It really wasn't. I'd always kind of ran a little bit, but not enough to ever sign up for a race or anything like that.
Right.
And I'm not good at racing or anything like that, but I enjoy it. So.
Well, and I mean, I think if you're gonna do this every day and try to push yourself, it's probably good to every now and then enter some sort of organized event just to see where you are, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the competition's with yourself, not with other people. I mean,
and I found if I don't sign up for a race, I get lazy real easy.
Okay. But if you know you got that race coming up, you better get out there today and get your miles in.
And my wife, she had been with her work. They'd had a team on the Buck 50, which is the relay race up in Chillicothe. They do every year. It's usually 5 or 10 person team. They do a 10-person team, and she got me into doing that a couple years ago. And actually, that's kind of what really got me started into running.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'd already kind of backed off of the lifting. I still lift 3 days a week, and I probably always will if I'm able to, but not
nearly as intense.
Not as intense. I don't care how much I can bench press anymore or how much I can squat. Being able to stand up and walk tomorrow morning is far more.
And having, we say it how many times, dude, like for guys getting to be our age, I'm over 50. You guys are younger than me, but we're middle age.
Yeah.
And man, I the thing I'm starting to realize, or we've said it all along, most important thing is mobility, man.
And strength.
Yeah. Because I notice, like, my back, for instance, is just like, it doesn't have the stamina that it used to have, you know. But I'm telling you, if I wasn't doing this walking every day and stuff, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Think. Because, man, I'll tell you, there's the biggest nightmare would be to lose mobility.
Yes.
How big were you when you started running?
I was.
You're a pretty hefty boy.
255, something like that.
Yeah. So 255. Now I've noticed I'm hovering 245, 250 probably right now. I think it's hard on my joints the heavier I am like this to go jogging. Probably. So I try to stay away from jogging until I get like 230, 235.
Okay.
Did you have any of that pain in the beginning of
no.
Like but you just started though. Like you just went right straight into it and started losing weight. Mm-hmm. And then how many miles did you start off doing?
When I first started, I was probably averaging just maybe 12, 13 miles a week, but I would it'd be a couple miles, a couple times a week, maybe a long run.
How long did it take you to start feeling comfortable with, hey, let's push the limit? I can do 2 miles, 3 miles easy.
Probably a year.
Okay.
Probably a year before I got to the point where I could do a 10-mile run pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Still not fast, but I can go run 10 miles.
And you went out and enjoyed doing that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You enjoy it?
I do.
Oh, you're like Jenkins. You like
you
love to suffer.
I do. I mean, I enjoy it. It's different than the weightlifting was, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've talked to many people that run like that, and even competitively somehow, and like they make the comment that like if they haven't ran that day, they feel terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and then what they say is, man, basically it's all about the first step. Once I take the first step, make myself go, take the first step, then you're done, and that's the satisfying part.
Yeah.
Like when you finish 10 miles or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So for me right now, I'm not, well, I mean, we got a couple 5Ks and stuff coming up, but as far as like training for anything, I'm just kind of doing 3 days of lifting, 3 days of running. So usually that ends up being
now, how does that
4 days because I can't take a day off because I don't, my body, my mind won't let me take a day off.
Okay. So. Well, then how about like how does winter change things, man?
So last winter, the beginning of winter, I did not want to run outside.
Yeah.
I don't like running in the cold.
Burns your lungs.
It does, but at the end of last winter, I just said, screw it, I'm going to run no matter what the temperature is.
Yeah.
And I come to find out, I actually like running in the cold more than I do
in the heat.
In the heat, yeah. But the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes for me, lungs are burning, but 5 minutes in,
fine.
Feel great.
Cruise control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like you gotta break through that suck or something.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of freeze up.
Yeah.
Like, is runner's high real?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
What mileage point does that hit with you?
I guess it depends. Like, it's usually somewhere 3 or 4 miles in, I guess.
Okay.
So,
And you just feel everything get a little easier.
yeah. Yeah. Now, when I did that yote, they call it the yote, which I refuse to do that because it's yote. You know, it's coyote. But
Yeah.
It's the yote to me. But anyways, when I did that, the 15 and a half miles, I felt like I trained really well for it. And when I got to the race, I screwed everything up right out of the gate.
Went too hard?
I went too hard. I didn't do my hydration the way I should have. I didn't do the nutrition throughout the race the way I should have. And 7.5 miles in, I had the worst cramp in my right calf that I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
It turned into a rock.
Oh.
I mean, I had to just stop and walk a mile right in the middle of the race. And I was cruising, man. I was like, I'm going to be way better than I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you got your electrolytes down here and you haven't drank any of them. You were planning on doing that in the first hour because that's what you did in your training. You got 2.5
So you just didn't follow your protocol.
Didn't follow it at all. Okay. Took off and started running and forgot everything else.
Yeah.
What was your time for that race?
I think it ended up being like 3 hours and 45 minutes.
That's pretty, that's
good, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I told myself when I started, I was like, this has to be in under 4 hours. That's max. I can do it under 4 hours no matter what. But I really wanted to be 3.5. And I was on pace to be well under 3.5 until I had that cramp and had to walk a mile, basically.
Well, then that thing probably bothered you the rest of the race, didn't it?
It did, but where I had screwed everything up, I also face planted twice in the last 2 miles.
Oh, my.
One time, I think my sugar bottomed out because I was using like glucose and stuff to keep myself going.
Yeah.
And I passed out, I think, running down a pretty good sized hill, head first into a tree or rock or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was joking when I got back.
You just woke up.
I told my wife, I'm like, I fell, but it was okay. My head broke my fall.
Yeah.
And she thought I was joking, and I took my headband off, and she was like, well, your head really did break your fall. And I was like, yeah, it did. I wasn't joking. And
well, it's amazing the difference that the nutrition and that kind of thing make.
Most of them drink Coke.
Is that right? Sugar?
Don't they?
What's that?
I think Jenkins and those guys in Clay, they all drink Coke.
They probably do.
Yeah.
It's, I take the little glucose packs.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of sugar
And
and
if you
caffeine.
neglect,
Slurp it down. And,
if you neglect doing that, though, your body will let you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've not mastered that part of it, but I thought I had a good plan. I just didn't execute that plan that day.
So you're at 3 hours. What's your heart rate over the course of that 3 hours?
I average around 160.
Oh, wow. That's why you're having the bottoming out and all that, because that's pretty high heart rate for 3 hours.
That's going hard. Dude.
Yeah.
That's high.
Yeah.
Your body's just churning through everything at that point, just trying to stay.
Yeah. I'm not one of them guys that can run at
so it probably
heart rate,
takes a lot of nutrition. Then to get through these things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like sprinting heart rate for me.
Yeah. Oh,
if I sprint, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, it always has interested me in talking with these runners that we've had. We've had a couple guys on that have done the 100-milers.
Jenkins
and it's amazing to me how big of a part of that run eating is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the different stuff they have, like these baked potatoes that are already skinned, that you can just throw in your mouth.
Yep.
I mean, whatever's easy to eat, just to give your body fuel.
Yeah.
Because you're burning everything.
Quick fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're wanting like a quick carb burn or something.
Basically, yeah. Do you try to load up on carbs the night before?
Oh yeah.
Carbs.
Oh yeah.
Just noodles, pasta.
I go to La Rosa's about every Thursday night before a long run, and I get to spaghetti and a pitcher of Michelob Ultra, and believe it or not, that works really well for me.
Does
Well,
it?
it probably does. It has the carbs. Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
first time I did it, I was like, "This is probably a bad idea," and went out the next morning, ran 10 or 11 miles, just training, and it was great. I was like, and started doing that every Thursday night before a long run on a Friday morning.
Your nutrients is so big. I mean, you have to have your body with fuel.
Yes.
To compete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, so then, Jered, what do you do, like, from a recovery standpoint? You finish running 10 miles.
Yes.
What do you do? Do you do cold plunges or anything like that?
I do
or what
cold plunge. During the wintertime, I don't have anything fancy, but I've got one of the cheap cold plunges I can fill up with water out back.
Yeah.
And I like that. I wish I had like something to.
So you're just doing like temperature,
whatever the temperature is. If it's 30 degrees out, water might be 30 degrees. There's a little layer of ice on it.
Yeah.
Do you throw a heater in there?
No.
You don't throw one of them trough heaters in it?
No. I want it to be as cold as possible. If
Well,
I could
to
get
keep from freezing solid.
No, that's a good idea. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I don't. If it freezes solid, I just don't do it until it thaws out.
Well, it probably does. I mean, my water troughs all freeze if I don't throw one of them in there.
Yeah, it
and
does
they'll
freeze.
just keep it at like 35.
Yeah.
They just won't let
Just
a good
keep it
idea.
from freezing.
Yeah, they're just running minimal voltage to it. But
Right.
you have to watch it. I'd take it out before I got in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So like a recovery routine after running 2 miles, what does that look like? Or 10 miles?
I was going to say after
like
2
what,
months.
Yeah. Like as far as like what nutrition you need to put in,
I'm not great on nutrition. I eat my eggs, my omelet, my oatmeal. It's the same. It's the same for me every day, no matter what I do.
Okay.
I have an omelet that I fix. We have our own chickens, so we have actual free ranging eggs. I mean, our eggs are wherever they're at out on the farm. My mother-in-law and
an Easter egg
my
hunt
wife
every day.
goes out and they find them
Easter egg
sometimes.
hunt.
Every day. When I had chickens, it was every day. Go find the eggs.
Yeah.
Then they tell me, they're like, there's probably some eggs over here. Yeah, I don't want to go hunting eggs. I just want to eat them.
Yeah.
So usually I have good, fresh eggs. And,
Oatmeal.
yeah, oatmeal with blueberries and strawberries
Yeah.
every day.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like the yogurt? You ever mix a little parfait in there?
I have. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I've been on cottage cheese kick.
Oh yeah.
I like it. Cottage cheese.
I eat yogurt every evening. My wife meal preps for me every Sunday.
Does
so
she? So's mine.
I eat pretty good.
Yeah.
On my days off, I eat like crap. I eat whatever I want.
Well, when
And
you're
way
burning
too
that,
much.
when you're burning that many calories, though, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You can get away with eating whatever you want to eat.
When I was doing the training for the I could eat whatever I wanted, and I wasn't going to gain a pound. I might not lose anymore,
Right,
But I would say right there at 225 or something, and
Yeah.
Is that where you are right now? You're about 225.
somewhere
And are
around
you
there.
pretty comfortable right there?
yeah,
You've really leaned out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could tell when you walked in, you've leaned out compared to where you were when you were lifting.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, somebody asked me about my arms a while back, and he's like, your arms are still pretty big, and I was like, they ain't what they used to be.
Yeah.
He's like, you might want to measure them. I'm like, man, I ain't measured my arms forever. So
Yeah.
my dumb ass goes home and gets the tape measure out, like freaking 2 inches, man. My arms were 19 and a half inches.
Yeah,
sometimes, They ain't anymore.
I want to go back to this cold plunge. What's your thoughts on the cold plunge?
Man, it is when you get the water right, like down 30, 35 degrees,
Okay.
that is, I can't even explain it, but it is an awesome feeling. It sucks when you first get in, that first initial dropping down in there, takes your breath, but when you get out, you feel like a new person. And I don't know all the science behind it. I just know I feel good.
Well, that's what I want to get to. Like, what have you seen other than cold? Like, I tried the cold showers for a while.
Yeah.
And
I still do that.
You can't get the water cold enough.
on a shower,
No.
it was pretty cold. I thought it was as cold as I wanted it. And I just realized I hate cold.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I'm curious about a cold plunge, man. I mean, that was something that had not come around when I was, playing football and working out a lot. They weren't doing that. But man, I'm intrigued by it. You read about it and how, like the cell rejuvenation that occurs and that kind.
I don't know anything
It's like
about
I mean I don't either.
Yeah.
But it's people describe like they jump out of it and it's like a complete reset.
Yes, I'll agree with that. And I have a little bit of anxiety at times, and it definitely, for whatever reason, It helps with that.
Is that right?
I don't know why, but I mean, I had read, that's one of the reasons I kind of got
Started
me
doing
into
it.
it.
Yeah.
And it definitely does. And I don't know the science behind it. I don't even know if it really does, if it's in my mind, you know, but
well, you know
if
what?
it's in your mind.
I doubt it takes much science, dude. I mean, the thing is, you're just jumping into cold water.
Well, your body,
and it's a shock to your body.
Yeah, I mean, your body is 90. Do you ever take your temperature?
No.
You should try that just to see like what it does to your body temperature. You should like I don't know how you could take your body temperature.
How long do you stay in one of these things?
So when it gets really cold, and let's say there's it's 32 degrees and there's a thin layer of ice.
Yeah.
About a minute and a half is about all I can do at that temperature.
Okay.
Now, if it's like right now, the other day I got in it and it was right around 4. It was one of the cold nights, and I got in it that morning, and it was, I want to say it was 48 or 49 degrees in there.
Okay.
I could sit in it forever at that point.
Yeah.
The first minute you're like getting used to it, and then after that you kind of feel like you don't even have.
Do you freeze the rest of the day?
No.
That's another fear I would have.
No. Within a few minutes, I feel pretty normal, as far as temperature wise goes.
Okay.
So
do you normally do it in the mornings?
yes, okay. I always do it after a workout.
Okay.
Some of those guys like to do it before. My mind won't allow me to do that.
You just do it after.
I want to do it after.
There's almost some kind of like, it almost feels refreshing afterwards.
Yes,
or something.
exactly.
It's like icing your whole body.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah. And to me, it's like you'd have to be psycho to get in that thing before you work out, but afterwards, hop right in.
Perfect sense. Yeah.
No, I can't. I just haven't bit yet. I haven't.
You haven't bit the cold plunge.
Well, I just hate cold.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care for it either.
And the cold showers, I thought it really. Now maybe this was part of the rejuvenation thing, but I thought it like almost sent my not gout, but my arthritic stuff. Kind of like my joints got sore.
Really?
And,
kind of woke up the bad things there.
Yeah, that was my experience with the cold shower. Now maybe I'm just being a puss, but I mean that's kind of what I thought. I mean,
my water comes out at about 48 or 49 degrees, I think. So I know this because I've ran water and then, it filled up my cold pod and then checked the temperature and it'll be 48, 49 degrees.
How often do you fill up your pod?
I keep a little thing, like a little thing with chlorine in it, like you would keep in a pool, and I swap that out. If it starts looking like it's not crystal clear, then I empty it out and clean it and,
do it again.
Do it again. I mean, honestly, it's maybe once a month.
Yeah.
You don't really need to do it that often as long as you take care of it.
Is it a barrel or what is it?
No, it's the plastic thing. It's got like a tube on the top of it, fill up with air. It's just a cheap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a barrel, but it's plastic. It's all plastic and got like PVC.
Oh, yeah. That's all you need.
Get on Amazon for about $100, I think. So
yeah,
works.
I think a lot of guys are just using, an old barrel if they have it, or I mean, a lot of guys just do whatever, man.
Now, do you do it every day?
Not every day.
Okay.
Gets colder, I'll start doing it more and more frequently when that water is just already cold and I know it's going to feel great. I'll do it more then.
Okay.
Yeah. In the summertime, if you're not cooling it, then it's just hot water.
Yeah, exactly. After the first week I had it in the basement there, and I forgot it the first time, and 48, 49 degrees, and it took me a second. I stood in it. And that was the worst thing in the world to do because my feet are already freezing. I stood there for like a minute, and I was like, I can't do this.
That's where I'm at, dude. Yeah, so you're saying
the hardest part is just get down in there, man.
When your feet get in, you better get in as quick as you can.
Or you'll never go.
Exactly. But after a week, I was like, man, I've been doing this every day. And I'm like, this thing ain't doing me a bit of good. I'm checking. I'm like, it's 62 degrees in this thing.
Have you ever dumped bags of ice in it?
I have, but man, it takes a ton of ice.
I bet it does. Yeah. Melts quick.
I go down to Markham's there and buy 10 bags of ice and come back, dump them in, and it cools it down to 8 degrees, Went from 62 to 54. It still ain't doing me any good.
Yeah.
So I realize that's not the way to go.
So let's shift gears here now that we've covered that. So you just got back off of a trip out west.
Yes.
Tell me, where'd you go? Who all went? Where'd you go?
Hey guys, while we're paying the bills, let's talk about one of our oldest sponsors that's been with us since the beginning. Geiger Brothers. Geiger Brothers is headquartered in Jackson, Ohio, with offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Knoxville, Tennessee. We provide construction services in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. A veteran and dynamic staff of talented people symbolic of our 100-year history of success, gives Geiger Brothers a distinct advantage. Leveraging that experience for our customers allows us the ability to provide consistent and superior performance for their construction, engineering, and fabrication needs. And hey, we've had several of these guys on our shows. Scott Massey, Kyle Hickey, Shay Meredith, just to name a few. Go back, look through some of the old episodes and get to know them. It's a great group of people that have been with us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. So enjoy tonight's show, courtesy of Geiger Brothers here in Jackson.
We went to Utah. There's a thing called the Backcountry Discovery Route. There's a bunch of them. Basically, it's a route that goes across the state or a region, and it's almost all back roads, trails, gravel roads. Mostly, they try to keep most of it off of pavement on motorcycles. So my cousin, that's Jay Higginbotham, and then my son Zane, and then my cousin of mine, her name's Beth. Her husband is Jesse, that went with us. So the four of us, we met a couple other guys out there that Jay knows that I didn't know them until we went, from Memphis, but they met us there, or the Memphis area, I shouldn't say Memphis. They met us out there and rode some with us.
Did you trailer?
Yes.
You trailered your
We
bikes?
did trailer out there because we were on the adventure bikes. And honestly, I would not ride that bike that far to get there. 2,000 miles or something. I forget exactly how far it is, but it's a long trip out there,
Yeah.
So we took an RV with an enclosed trailer, all four of our bikes in the trailer. We straight through, we took turns driving. Somebody'd drive, somebody'd sleep, all the way to Moab, and that's where we stayed and left the camper and everything. And then we were straight down the next day to the south end of Utah, down to Mexican Hat. Went down. Well, that Sunday we went down to Four Corners and did a little bit of sightseeing that day. And the BDR starts over at Mexican Hat. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mexican Hat.
Nope.
But there's actually a little rock down there. It's a little tiny town. When I say little tiny, it's like Glenroy. I mean,
okay.
But they've got an awesome steak.
And this is where?
That is in southern Utah, in the southeastern part of Utah.
Like by Provo?
It's farther south.
South.
Okay.
Yeah, you are just inside,
Above New Mexico? Is that what
Arizona.
Arizona.
Desert, more or less, right?
Oh, yeah. So we went down to, like Forrest Gump Point. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that. That's where Forrest Gump was running and stopped and turned around. And,
okay, yep.
Stopped running. Basically, that's a tourist attraction down there.
Yep.
So we rode down there, and that's right by Monument Valley, which is also, that's in Arizona.
So did you take your RV and parked it where?
In Moab, at a campsite there.
At a campsite. So Moab is like this. I know what it is, but where is Moab? And
it is also in southeastern part of Utah.
Okay.
But not as far south.
And how big is Moab?
Moab is a fairly small town. I'm going to say it was my first time there. Jay had said he had been there in 2017. It's kind of blown up now because all the side-by-sides and all that kind of stuff. It's blown up. But it's not a big town. Maybe it's not as big as Chillicothe. It's probably not as big as Jackson.
Okay, but all side-by-sides.
Oh, yeah.
They're legal to ride on the roads.
Legal everywhere down there, unless you're in like one of the national.
So all you're seeing in this town called Moab is side-by-sides, adventure bikes, dirt bikes, four-wheelers.
It's mostly side-by-sides and Jeeps.
Yeah, a lot of Jeeps, I think.
Mostly side-by-sides and Jeeps. Not nearly as many motorcycles and adventure bikes as I thought we'd see. I mean,
is that a trailhead for the Moab Desert?
Moab,
or where they all go?
Well, there's several trails there. And there's several places you can go ride, side by side.
From there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't even remember the trail we went on the first night we were in Moab. We were just going to get a little ride in before we headed down to the south end of Utah. We hit a trail where a bunch of side by sides go out of Moab, and I can't remember what it's called. Fins and Things. That's the name of the trail.
Okay.
And there was just a ton of side-by-sides out there. So we found out that places where side-by-sides go is not always great for motorcycles because they do a number on the sand.
Yeah.
And a lot of those places out there, it's sand and rock.
Yeah.
And sand and rock together, it's kind of hard to ride.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you hit some 2 foot deep sand, and then all of a sudden, a straight up rock wall. I'm not saying like a 20-foot rock wall, but even if it's just a 2 or 3 foot ledge, straight up,
they'll crawl up that. Where you on a bike, that's tough.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
So we did a little bit of that trail, and then we got behind. There was a group of a bunch of side by sides, and I think one of them broke down or something. Well, anyway, we ended up turning around. We stayed out of there. It's like this is not going to be good for us.
Yeah.
So now the good thing was, like, a lot of the places that we ended up, there's no side by sides like allowed, like where White Rim Trail is. White Rim Trail is in Canyonlands now.
Oh, I know where the white line.
It's called White Rim Trail.
Okay, is that the one with the white line that goes across the red rocks?
There probably is somewhere.
Okay,
it's a beautiful place, and I'm sure that's probably why it's called that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just beautiful everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And someone probably pointed it out to me.
Now, did you guys come back to your camper every night?
No.
No.
So what we did on this backcountry discovery route, there's camping spots all along it. So we camped, I think 6 nights in a row. We camped out wherever we were at.
Yeah.
Different campsites.
You just take your gear in there on your back, or what?
We have saddlebags, and our bikes were loaded down. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean tents, sleeping bags, food, jet boil. We did stop every day. We were somewhere to get some water.
So you camped out in tents and stuff.
Oh
there.
yeah.
So you would just come back to a base camp at the RV.
We didn't come back there for a week. We left the RV park there for a week and didn't go back to it until the second week. We was actually out there for 2 weeks.
Oh.
So the whole first week we're riding along this backcountry discovery route and just camping wherever we end up. So it's kind of laid out. Like you buy a map and it shows you this is section 1. It's X amount of miles.
How many miles would a section be typically?
About 150.
About all you want.
Yeah. When you're riding off road, 150 miles.
Long way.
Shit, that's a long day.
Yeah,
man.
long way.
Yeah.
That would be easier than going like to your local single track trail, but it's still outside. It's still like gravel and big rock stuff.
Yeah, there was some of it that was more or less a single track. I mean, we were on the Kokopelli. You know what the Kokopelli is?
No.
That's a big mountain bike.
Is it
trail out there?
They're all big out there.
It's huge. I mean, Kokopelli is one of like the most popular there. It goes through Moab.
There's another one that a buddy of mine wants me to go out and do with him, and it's in Colorado. There's something 40 or something.
I'm not sure.
There's a whole big trail system out there anyway, they're all renowned out there.
Yeah.
So you entered this back discovery route.
Backcountry discovery
route. So you enter it into where? Where do you enter it from?
At Mexican Hat.
At Mexican Hat, and where's that? Is that a city?
It's a very small town. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a small town, but there actually is a little rock formation that looks like a Mexican hat up on top of this.
So they've got
outside this town.
How long total is this backcountry route?
It goes that is right above the Arizona border, and it goes all the way into Idaho.
Oh my.
Jeez.
So we started in Arizona and we ended in Idaho.
And then had to come back to
back to Moab.
How many miles was that whole thing?
We did about, I want to say 2,300 miles total was what we did. Now it's not, It was a little over 1,000 miles from the south end to the north end, but the whole time we were there, we rode about 2,300 miles.
Jeez.
Wow.
Now the day that we had to ride back from Idaho back to Moab, that sucked. We rode just roads just to get back down there.
Just to get back home.
And we were hitting like 50-mile-an-hour winds, hitting you in the side. And on a motorcycle, you're basically riding at what feels like a 45-degree angle down the road for an hour at a time. Because
fighting it, leaned into it.
It probably just wears you out.
Oh, it did.
Did you guys have to stop a lot doing that?
We didn't stop nearly as much as what I wanted to because we were trying to get back to Moab in one day. So it was like a 440-mile day.
Oh,
my. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
I can do that on the Harley, and I'm all right.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty comfortable.
That's pushing it.
I've done more than that on the Harley.
What's the most you ever went on Harley in one trip?
Right around, in one day, just over 500.
And I bet you knew it.
Oh, yeah.
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 Me and Missy rode to Maine. We rode to Maine last year on the Harley.
Did you?
Wife, yeah.
Straight?
No. We took 3 days to get there.
Yeah.
But one day on the way back,
See, I think that'd be fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
It
just
is.
just take your time.
Yeah.
It was a blast. Yeah.
I had a Harley and I haven't missed having it. I've had a bunch of Harleys. I haven't missed it. I haven't, but I'm intrigued by this adventure riding.
Oh, I love it. I tell everyone, if it wasn't for Missy liking to ride with me, I wouldn't even need the Harley anymore. You know?
Yeah.
She loves
Because you can do that here.
Yes.
We're very fortunate.
Yes.
We're kind of built
we've
for
got
that.
those resources
We are perfect
around here to
perfect.
Absolutely.
You could take off right here and you could aim northeast and you could just take that whole thing and just think of it. You're bouncing around nothing but country from 77 to 71 all the way up through there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all just back country.
back road it. And
There's
go
all kinds
off-road.
of there's all kinds of these routes now.
Yeah.
That they've already got laid out. There's one called the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop.
Yeah.
And then there's a new one that goes all the way from somewhere down around Cincinnati to up to like Ashtabula, called they call it the Great Ohio Adventure Trail or something like that.
Now, are you taking a lot of these in, Jered? Like around Ohio? Have you done?
Oh,
any?
he's a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do them all, don't you, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this, that you are the guy when it comes to going out
the
for a
adventure
ride.
trails,
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, most of the guys on Harleys, I mean, this is no dig on anybody, but they're bad about just, if you go for a Harley ride, just to a bar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys don't.
No, we go.
Now, you might go have dinner and a beer or something. There's nothing wrong with that. But, like, you go to ride.
Yes.
And like, I've heard that Jered will just ride your ass plumb off. Like, I've heard that if they go for a ride with Warrens, you better be ready.
You better be ready to ride.
Yeah.
We're going somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to go.
Yeah.
So so you go out there, so you spend 2 weeks, you spend 1 week going to Idaho, coming back. What do you do the second week?
We hit the trails and stuff
Just
around Moab.
Yeah. Come back to the hub every night.
Yes.
Though. Yeah.
That's where that White Rim Trail is just outside.
What would you recommend? What was your favorite from the two? Playing on the trails or doing the ride?
That White Rim Trail is awesome. I really liked it. We had a guy that bent a rim, in the middle of the desert, like it was in a bad spot, no shade anywhere around, and we had to stop in the middle of the day and take his wheel off and put an inner tube in it and stuff, and lift his bike up on a rock to use it for a stand, basically. And it was a long, horrible day because by the time we got done with that trail, it was dark, and those switchbacks at the end, it was creepy. And when I say switchbacks, I don't know exactly how to explain this, but my son and I were on the bottom set of the switchbacks, and it just kind of goes up the hill at about a 45, and then a switchback this way,
And if you don't punch your tire in the right direction, next thing you know, you're straight up, could tip over, could do something.
But I really like that White Rim Trail. It's just amazing out through there. Not a lot of people. They only give so many permits out per day to go on this trail, so it never gets real busy. And you can't do it unless you better be in a Jeep. It's got maybe a little ground clearance, a motorcycle. There's no side by sides on it.
Okay.
It has to be like something you could drive on the street illegally just about anywhere because it's in a Canyonlands National Park. That was probably my favorite thing, even though at the end with the sand and the switchbacks, and it's just but once you get done, you're like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
When you're doing it, you're like, man, this sucks. I'm done.
How did that ever happen during the trip? Whenever you got home, and you were like, "Whew," I bet you. I mean, you had to.
Yeah. That night we got on that trail at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was 10:15 when we got back to the camper that night.
Oh my!
And it's only 10 miles, from to the start of the trail.
Oh
boy,
long day.
A long day. Yeah.
My bike caught on fire in Richland. I thought it was
did
bad.
you prefer though that week where you came back to the camper every night?
Not necessarily.
Although, man, there had to be a lot of adventure in that camping.
Yeah, it was. I love camping, man. When I was a kid, I camped all the time, and I haven't really done much camping since then. So I'm loving getting back in the camping, man. I bought all kinds of gear and stuff.
Yeah.
That was more expensive than the trip was.
Oh, probably.
I mean, I guarantee it.
What kind of tent did you buy?
It's a was it Mountaineering Alps or something? I don't know. I got
One man?
REI. It's 2-man tent.
REI, 2-man tent.
Yeah.
I've been wanting one of those inflatable ones. Have you seen those?
No, I don't think so.
Go check those out.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get into this too, mountain biking. I want an inflatable.
Yeah, you got to have something that'll pack up small.
What's I forget. It's not the REI. Name me another high end brand.
And
Big Bear or Bear.
Oh,
something.
you're talking.
There's one.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
My buddy Travis has all their stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
But I mean, it'll be $800, Chad, for this thing.
Yeah.
But you put it in your front shirt pocket when you're done.
Oh my!
I mean, it folds up. What is the name of that?
I'm thinking a guy that I follow on like an adventure ride thing. He's big into that company, and I can't think what it's called.
I can't either. Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about. I think. But
yeah, they're windproof. You know, they're just good stuff.
Yeah.
And they fold up real nice. Yeah. I bet you have spent an ungodly amount of
horrible.
money.
Because I bought a cheap sleeping bag at Walmart to
Can't
begin
do
with,
it.
and I was like, me and my cousin, we went on a test run, and it got down to like 50 degrees that night, and about froze. And it's like, hey,
you're gonna have to upgrade this, gentlemen.
This ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And, we camped a couple nights at close to 12,000 feet in the mountains. That's one cool thing about Utah. You can be in the desert 1 minute, and 20 minutes later, you're 12,000 feet in the mountains.
In the snow.
Yeah, well, we didn't see any snow when we were there, but there will be. Probably is now. Yeah.
Have you went to? Everybody that I know has went to the sleeping pads and not the sleeping bag.
I still use a sleeping bag.
Do you use a sleeping pad?
I have an inflatable
pad.
Yeah.
Okay, that inflatable would work.
Yeah.
They say that's a big deal too. You got to get a good.
Yeah, I slept one night. I was like, man, I'm tired. I don't feel like getting the thing out. It was a mistake. Yeah, every other night I was like, yeah, I'm getting that out. And you got one little pumps, pump it up in 2 minutes. So very awesome.
Yeah. What did you do about just carrying? Well, you had your RV.
Yeah.
So you could bring extra stuff and go replenish.
That's my cousin has the RV. It ain't mine, but yes. Now when we were out on the trail, we didn't, like I said. I mean, it would have been 4 or 5 hours to get back to it by the time we got to the north end. Yeah. So it was, we were at a gas station every day. Yeah. To get gas, had to be. Yeah. And that's where you got water. You really got to watch your water if you ever go out there, because you don't see your sweat at all. Mm-hmm. You wear the same pair of underwear all week and it never be wet. Yeah. Because it's so dry. And it just everything evaporates. Nothing gets wet.
No humidity at all, man.
Did you camp at trailheads?
There's just random campsites, some places, like there's some of it's the BLM land where it's Bureau of Land Management, I think. On that property, you can camp anywhere you want. As long as you're not disturbing anything and you get your stuff off the road and you're not tearing anything up, take everything out, you can camp anywhere you want. One night we ended up at a real nice campground at a state park. And that was mainly because there was a big forest fire out there when we was out there too. We actually had to hit some roads and go around a forest fire. Okay. But that was late in the day, and so we kind of just started looking for a place to spend the night. Yeah. And I think we were in Heber City that night, which is a big ski town out there. All right. And there's a real nice state park there, and we stayed there that night. So most nights we were in some type of decent campground,
Tell me about how out west makes you feel.
Honestly, it makes me feel like I want to live out west. That's how it makes me feel. I mean, I made reservations to go back next year for me and my wife, because she's never been. So September, me and my wife's going back to Utah. Yeah. I mean, we're going to do a 2 or 3 week trip, and just drive.
There's something about the air out there.
It is.
I don't know what it is, but now, do you like it out there? Have you spent much time in Utah or anything?
Yeah.
Colorado?
Melissa's family's from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been out there a good bit through work and all that. One thing I'll say about Utah, I love their climate, man.
Do you?
Like if you're around Salt Lake or any of that, I mean, like, dude, there's no insects and there's no humidity. Yeah. I mean, you can go out and lay in the grass in your backyard there, and nothing's going to bother you. Wow. Not a bug bite, not an ant, nothing, dude.
No, we took the thermocells, never needed them, never turned it on. Yeah. Anywhere. We had them, packed them out. If I go back again, I won't take it.
Deflectors.
Yeah. I never turned mine on. Never needed to. Yeah. I think we did like the first night we was there because we didn't know. Yeah. And then that was it. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty awesome.
I love it out there, man.
I mean, I just like the West. It's just totally different. Yeah. I could 100% live in Utah, Montana, Idaho.
Montana's, I think that would be like next level climate
it's a little
stuff.
Cold. It's a little cold.
And it's hot.
In the summer.
In the summer, that's a hot mother.
I've never been. We went through part of Wyoming. Actually, part of the backcountry discovery route dips into Wyoming up there for a minute. And then when we came back, we did a bunch through Wyoming on the roads. And it wasn't fun because, like I said, that was the day we was riding back on them roads. And The only thing I remember is, we got on one of those roads and it was pretty much straight down this valley for 86 miles or something, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I thought Wyoming was boring. Like Wyoming was probably the boringest state that I drove across at times. I mean, it's just nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of that's what was my experience when we did a little bit of time.
Did you see all the pronghorn?
Oh yeah,
by the thousands.
Yes.
Bud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they would have to be a nuisance.
Oh yeah.
Can anybody just go out there and hunt them?
I don't know what the hunting laws
They should be feeding starving people with
should.
pronghorns because, Chad, they're everywhere.
Yes.
Thousands.
Yeah. Are cars hitting them?
Oh yeah. I mean, but usually they'll be just far enough off the road that
they don't get on.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. I mean, they probably do crossing somewhere, but I mean, they will literally be by the thousands.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The biggest group we saw was actually a farmer had something green planted. I'm not sure what it was, but it was right by the road. So there was this one field, and like you said, probably I don't know. There were several hundred in this field. And they were 10 yards off the road, but they were staying there eating this green alfalfa or whatever it was. I'm not sure. But
man, those farms out there and everything are just so massive.
Yes.
Like they're just so many. Like, you think like, we had an Amish guy leave here and move out there, and he was going to be a blacksmith out there. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, you might be an hour traveling to the next farm over.
Oh, yeah.
Like easy.
Yes.
Like that's how big those things are. Yeah. Like whenever you see those great big valleys and just that you can't even see to the other end of.
Yeah. Man. So you actually ride through some of those on that backcountry discovery.
Do you?
So, you'll come into a place and it'll say, private property, do not trespass. And that means stay on the trail. You can't camp there. Mm-hmm. You have permission to drive through this farm, but go through it and be done.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot,
yeah.
Basically. But, one of the things that blew my mind was the cattle out there, because no matter where you're at, you might run into cattle on the road. I mean, they're not
wherever they can go eat.
Wherever they go. We were up at 11,000 feet, and then all of a sudden there's just a bunch of cattle in the road.
Yeah.
They're all tagged.
Yeah.
That farmer, he'll send, that's those buddies I used to show horses with.
Yeah.
That's what they would do. They'd go day ride for these guys.
Yeah.
And they're just going out checking these farms and just make sure the cattle's all good.
Yeah.
They got one, they got a doctor. They got stuff with them. They'll doctor one.
Yeah.
Ride all day, man. Yeah. Massive farms.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see like those drift fences they would build out there? Like, do you see like any real tall like fences? Like there'd be a section of fence that might be 20, 30 foot high.
I don't remember seeing anything like that. I'm not saying we didn't, but I don't remember.
That was so it doesn't drift over the thing.
Yeah.
And then they try to harness all the snow that they can and then catch the water. And that's what they try to do in the summertime. That way it's not so dry.
Yeah, okay.
They try to control all those drifts.
Yeah.
It's so desolate out there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
not
awesome.
like Ohio.
No, it was awesome. I mean, times I know one section, we'd ride 120 miles between anywhere that you could possibly get gas,
Yeah.
Like here.
Yeah.
You can't go 4 miles without getting gas around here,
Why is the West so desolate, though? You think it's because they hit the shores and they just never got that far on?
Right. It just, they never settled it. You got some pretty harsh climate conditions there.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was never good for
and it was all,
either.
and it's all bought up by these livestock ranches. I mean, it's not, the population is sparse, but the land is owned.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Hey, Chubbies. Let's talk about a sponsor that came to us about a year ago, and it's been nothing but smooth sailing ever since, just like it is in their business. And that sponsor is the Kelly Wiley Group of the Keller Williams Capital Partners. The market has now shifted for sellers, and now more than ever, experienced professionalism actually matter. Gone are the days when the agents can just snap some pics with their phone and pop a sign in the yard. Sellers actually deserve more than that. Whether you're selling a $100,000 home or $1 million home, you'll get Kelly Wiley. You'll get Kelly Wiley, an agent that you can trust with more than 16 years of experience and more than 1,500 transactions. Kelly will answer your questions, she'll reduce your stress levels, and she'll help guide you through what we all know is a lengthy process. You get professional photography, you get FAA licensed drone pilots, and you get an in-house marketing team to make your home look amazing to the future buyers. You get a full staff of transaction professionals to make sure that your transaction goes smooth from the beginning to the end. You get reach. They have 3 MLSs to reach out more and more agents, and they can find your house quicker and easier now than ever through those MLSs. And you get a referral network of more than 160,000 Keller Williams agents across the United States to send buyers to see your home. You just can't beat it, guys. These are the reasons why the Kelly Wiley Group is the #1 team in the area. If you want your home sold for the right price and for the highest price possible in the shortest amount of time, guys, call Kelly Wiley today at 740-577-3795. I'm going to say it to you again. If you want your home sold for the highest priced in the shortest amount of time, it's a great deal for everybody. Give Kelly Wiley a call at 740-577-3795, and let's get that listing. Yeah.
I got a funny story about a rancher out there when we were coming back through Wyoming. We'd stopped at a gas station, and it's the first time I've ever been to Moab, and I was calling it Moab.
Yeah.
I'd heard both. So this rancher, he pulls in this big Ford, F-350 dually, and it's all dusty, and he's a rancher, you can tell. He walks over and starts talking to us and asking us, what to know what our story is and what we're doing. And anyway, we talked for a few minutes. I was like, yeah, we're just heading back down to Moab now. And he looked at me and said, "It's Moab, not Moab." And he turned around and walked away, and that was the end of it. I was like,
hey, pissed him off.
All right.
They probably don't like all this traffic.
I don't think they do. Because it was cool until I said Moab, and I was like,
they don't like the tourists.
That ain't how you say it. Like,
I don't think they do, because I think I think it's really ramping up out there.
It is, especially there around Moab.
I think since COVID, people have hit that hard.
I know 4 or 5 people this year that went to Jackson Hole.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
Beautiful. It's probably the most expensive place I ever was. Yeah, Jackson Hole's expensive. Yeah. So 2 weeks out, what did you just come straight back out of that? You didn't go. You just did the week at Moab.
Yes.
Come back.
Yeah, because Zane, he's being in the Army and stuff. He only had so much leave, and he had actually came up to Jackson and rode, not rode, but he trailered bike up, and we had to get him back,
get him unloaded, and get him back.
And then he, his wife met him up here to take him back down to Fort Campbell. So
he probably went to work a day or two later.
Yeah. Actually, I think that Monday he was worried about getting back, and he got back and he forgot that Monday was a holiday, so he didn't have to work. He was happy to have the day off. But I think it was Veterans Day or not Veterans Day. What? I think Veterans Day. That's in November. I don't. Anyways, he had
Labor
Monday
Day
off.
What bike did you ride out there?
I have an Aprilia Touareg 660.
Aprilia.
Yeah, it's an Italian company. They've been real big into street racing for a long time.
Okay.
And they just started making this adventure bike a few years ago, but it's got the engine in it out of their 660, crotch rocket basically.
Okay.
So it's an engine that's been around for a while. They detuned it a little bit, make a little less horsepower, a little more torque.
Yeah.
For off-roading purposes. So I really like it though. It's awesome.
6-speed automatic. Does it have cruise?
6-speed. Yeah.
It does have cruise?
It's got cruise. It's got 4 different ride modes. You can go in and adjust the engine map, engine braking, ABS. You can adjust all that stuff. It's pretty awesome.
What all's coming on these adventure bikes? Tell me about this.
So like on mine, like I said, most of them have like some different types of engine maps. So a little more quicker throttle response. Then they like the traction control. I can turn traction control on 4 different settings, where I can turn it completely off. Same way with ABS. Mine has an engine brake with 3 different settings where I can turn it off.
Like a Jake brake?
Kind of, yeah. If you're going down a hill and you just let off the throttle, it'll just kind of make it easier.
Wouldn't it do that in gear anyway?
It kind of does, but it does it a little bit more aggressively.
Smooth, yeah. So you can set all that. Can you will allow you to set your shocks and everything?
I can't. Mine doesn't have that where I can do it like by computer. That's all still like an old dirt bike.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's adjustable, but you have to do it by hand.
Well, how big a front forks are you running on this thing?
What are they? 40? I think they're. I'm not 100% sure.
Big.
Yeah.
And then it's a coil shock on the frame. Is that what it? Just like a dirt bike?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
So you're probably running pretty good then out through there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, and that bike. My bike is about 419 pounds. That's what they advertise it at. So it's half the weight of my Harley.
Half.
And it makes more horsepower.
Yeah.
It'll move.
Is it as comfortable?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not as comfortable. But that being said, I'm comfortable enough with just me. I can ride it all day, and it doesn't bother me. You know, you can stand up, you know, like on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
On a Harley, I can stand up on my road glide, but it's kind of hard to do.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all, you know, not comfortable to stand up on that thing. So
You think you might want your bike, do you?
No.
No.
I'm too old, dude. Yeah, no, I've never had one. Now I go out there and kill myself on
Yeah,
it.
motorcycles tough.
That's a young man. You got to learn that when you're young, I think. I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable getting on one.
I got to get Jered here into the e-bikes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about all that.
He likes the running and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good combination.
You would love that mountain biking.
I probably would.
Yeah.
But I've also seen the prices of these mountain bikes. Man, I don't want it. My hobbies are expensive enough, you know.
Yes.
I can buy a good used motorcycle, you know.
Cheaper.
Cheaper, I guarantee it.
Cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mike Johnson's I've been talking to him about making the change.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, Bo's out. Bo's a road rider.
You just got to take him out and put him on one of yours there and let him see it.
Yeah, that's
That's what you've done to everybody else. And
Yeah.
then
I've got a small group now.
Yeah.
Of guys that's all got bikes. Brandon Carroll just bought one. David Gillum just bought one.
Yeah.
So they're Jenkins is in, Hickey's in.
Oh, yeah.
Rawls was in, now he's out.
Now he's out. That broken leg scared him to death.
Yeah. Did you have any wrecks out there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were all down at least once.
Yeah.
I mean, Zane, my son, he got into riding dirt bikes, or not dirt bikes, but motorcycles kind of late. And, I mean, well, he was 16, you know, he started riding, but he started riding street. And he really just got into these, you know, adventure bikes, you know, right when I did. But I grew up on dirt bikes, so he didn't.
Yeah. Big difference.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
And he was hating the sand by the time we got done. He went down a bunch into sand. I ain't gonna lie, I was sick of picking his bike up by the end of the week.
Oh, they're heavy to pick up.
Yeah.
I sold all my dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Why? It just wasn't fun for me. I could just see this was an injury coming.
Yeah.
And you know, it was just time for me to
The good thing about the adventure bikes, I rode today, and I mean, I can take off from the house and just ride for an hour and not really go anywhere and be on gravel roads, back roads.
Yeah.
You know, I think the farthest I ever was from home was over on the backside of Big Rock, you know, up there on Wickline Road. I mean, up by the old sand dunes that we called it. And
just
up in there,
cruise.
you know. And I've got a little loop that I like to do when I got an hour or two to go mess around, and I love it, you know.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to have. I'd just like to have something to go toy around on every now and then on the back roads.
Yeah.
And you can't back road them Harleys.
No. You end up in places you don't want to be on a Harley.
They're just not made. Your body position's not sitting there to a point that you can handle it. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong, but it sucks.
So you need one of these adventure bikes.
You're in a better. Wouldn't you say you're in a better position just total? You
Absolutely.
know? Where a Harley, you know, you're kind of sitting down. That's hard to work.
You can't move your body around much on a Harley. You know, on an adventure bike, it's an oversized dirt bike basically.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a high end dirt bike, just a real heavy high end.
Yeah.
You know, style dirt bike.
Yeah.
I can't believe Bo hasn't got into that.
He ain't getting into that. I've tried that.
He's a Harley guy.
Yeah.
He likes his Harley.
Yeah.
I think you took Smalley one time. Didn't you go? He went Harley riding with you though.
Yeah, he's rode with us a couple times. I know Bo's rode with him more than I have. I don't know Smalley that well, just through riding with him a couple times.
Yep.
Bo, but he rode with us. One time he went with us. We rode up the Triple Nickel. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's 555 over
Amesville.
Yeah.
It's like
Chester
Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
good
the curviest road in Ohio.
Oh, it has to be.
And that's the road we rode the day that Smalley went with us, and we got behind a group of people that we thought were going to be a lot faster than us, and they were real slow.
Yeah.
And we just pulled over. I was leading. I was like, hey, I can't ride that slow. I'm like, we're just going to let them go on up the road a little bit.
Yeah. Those are fun roads to ride.
I love them.
Yeah. Is that 555 or 550?
555.
555.
There's 550 over there also that intersects it there at.
Any of that there again. Now you're in that northeast Ohio realm right there, or
awesome.
central east. You know,
there's a real good adventure route over there too that is on and off of 555, and the adventure bikes. If you put a set of street tires on them, man, it's like a sport bike.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
like a crotch rocket. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what intrigues me about it.
Oh, it's fun.
I think it'd be fun. You listen to music while you ride?
I do. Yeah,
in headphones.
I've got the Bluetooth set that goes in the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, are you wearing full face?
Yeah.
On that all the time?
On that I do all the time.
Yeah, I don't
Because I mean, I actually just bought a new one because it's banged off of trees and rocks and a few things.
Is it a full face with the shield, or is it a full face like dirt bike helmet?
It's a full face with the shield. I mean, it's like a dirt bike helmet, but it has the shield that comes down, and then the inside it's got the tinted part that comes down on the inside.
Okay. Yep.
Pretty much what they advertise just for adventure bikes. You
Yep.
could use them for anything. But,
Yep. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in helmets.
Yeah.
They save you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I went head first into a mailbox at 55 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah. My wife and I mean, that was when I was, well, she and I weren't even married. We were dating. She was still living at home. I was taking her home, and we hit a deer out on Beaver Pike. I went head first into a John Deere tractor mailbox.
Ooh.
Right there, just past Lake Catherine Road. I can tell you how long ago it was. They took me to Oak Hill Hospital.
Oh my!
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's been a while.
It's been a while. And I was freaking out when they said we're going to Oak Hill Hospital.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
At this point, I'm like, can we go somewhere
How
else?
about her damn bike? Yeah.
What bike was you on then?
I was on a Sportster.
Okay.
1200 Sportster.
It throwed you both off?
Yeah.
Hit the deer, throwed you
Yeah.
both off?
Yep.
Man. Yeah,
It didn't throw me off. I stayed on the bike until I hit the mailbox. It threw her off as soon as we hit it. And the only reason I know all of this because there was a guy right behind us that watched it happen and told me what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about motorcycles.
It is.
Well,
And
it's just there's nowhere to go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have a helmet on at that point because I was young and stupid.
Yeah.
No helmet.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish they'd just make them law here.
I do too.
That way it just
That's
be
the good thing when you travel. You go through a lot of states where it's
everywhere else other than
mandatory.
here.
Yeah.
And what, Sturgis? Is Sturgis?
Yeah, I don't think you have to wear them at Sturgis. West Virginia, you have to wear them, but Kentucky, you don't.
Yep.
And when we went to when we went to Maine, there was a few states that you didn't have to wear them in, but there's most states you do, so we just wear them.
You're going to be out there on that 4-lane, wear it.
Yeah,
Wear it.
yeah. I didn't say anything about a 4-lane, man. I went to Maine and I don't get on a 4-lane. You know,
Ooh.
I mean, when I ride the Harley, we're going to go, but we may not be on a 4-lane much.
I bet that upstate New York and up in that area is
Beautiful.
beautiful.
It is. It is.
I like that Yorktown Heights area.
I'm not sure where that's at. Might have been through there, but I don't know where that's at.
It's just a little bit northeast of New York City. It's kind of
Okay.
starting going up that way.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
And we went up on our way up. I know we were in Albany, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we spent a night in Albany on our way up.
Yep.
I do know that because I had to go to a Harley shop in Albany that following morning because my battery was going dead. And then on the way back, there was a place called Finger Lakes. I don't know if you're familiar with the Finger Lakes, but there's a place called Finger Lakes Harley Davidson. And I ended up having to stop there because my clutch fluid got really hot and I lost my clutch.
Oh.
Wasn't real sure what was going on because it's the first time it had ever happened. And we pulled into that Harley dealer and they checked it out and it's like, just let it cool down. You'll be all right when you get back home. Change fluid, you know.
Yep.
And they were right, you know. I let it cool down and then my clutch came back. So it's got hydraulic clutch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I liked all that. Did you ever get up in that area up there
Yeah.
traveling?
Yep.
Where have you been to Maine?
Oh yeah. Yep. Maine, Portland, Maine, and Bangor, Maine are two of the nicest cities I've ever been to.
Really?
Food's unbelievable.
Bangor is where we stayed. We stayed at an Airbnb in Bangor for 3 nights.
Yeah.
And
that.
yeah, we loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, just everything up there is just beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of country up there too, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's different, man. Just
Yeah.
The East Coast is a different animal.
There's moose and everything up
Yeah.
there, isn't there?
Yep. Yep.
That's where I like to go, where there's elk and moose. Yeah. I've figured out if elk and moose
Yeah.
are there, I like it.
We saw a moose in Utah.
Did
I
you?
had one at 20 yards. On
Yeah.
one of the roads we were on, I don't even know where we were at, somewhere in northern part of the mountains, and there was actually like a group of 4 or 5 side by sides that were stopped, and they were like waving at us and pointing, and look over, and there's a moose standing there in these aspen trees with a cow, you know, a bull moose with a cow. Maybe probably 50 or 60 yards off the road. And
Yeah.
stood there forever, got a few pictures, and went on. You know,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's what I like. I love looking at stuff like that.
I do too.
Now, Chad's favorite's Gatlinburg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've listened a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you remember that trip whenever we went to Gatlinburg?
I don't know. I heard something about it. But
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just go to the Hocking Hills, man. It's the same. damn
You're right.
thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Why would I drive 6 hours?
What'd you
down
think
there?
of Chattanooga?
I liked it.
Chattanooga looked cool.
Yeah, yeah. I like Tennessee. I give that a hard time.
Yeah.
I love riding down around. I love riding in the Smokies. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But now we usually, when we go down, we stay there in Pigeon Forge. And
Yeah.
but I stay at a place where whatever that is, Wares Valley Road goes out.
Yeah.
I don't have to go
into the minutia.
I don't have to go up and down the main drag. I shoot straight across, and I go out Wares Valley Road, and I can hit the roads I want to ride.
Yeah.
So when we go down there, that's what I want to do.
They just put a new mountain bike park down there. I've been wanting
really?
to check it out. Yeah. I'm going to have to here soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll keep it open all winter, but I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, they're not going to get snow.
It's pretty mild winters down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There'd be a dusting of snow or something here
Maybe.
and there, but that wouldn't close a mountain bike trail.
You would think that most of them do though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most of them do. Wayne National will close here within another few weeks, probably.
Yeah.
It'll be done.
It might already be closed.
It might be.
I think it is.
Is it really?
I think I'm not 100% sure, but if it's not, it will be soon.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But got anything else, brother? We've been right at an hour.
Yeah.
Hey,
you want to tell anybody? Hi to your wife. Tell you got to say hi to your wife.
She'll be back here in a minute.
I know she'll probably listen. She's probably doing some civic thing tonight. What does she do? She's
don't
always
know.
got something going on
I know.
civic wise.
I think she was just going over to talk to Amanda. I think.
You think?
Over
Okay.
at the quilt shop. I think so. I have no idea.
All right.
I can't keep up with everything she does.
No, she's into.
I
the
know
time.
everyone I talk to tells me how amazing she is, and that's about all I know about what she does.
I know. Speaking of civic stuff, I did have to Pete Wolford called me and wanted us to talk about the food pantry benefit that he is putting on at the Memorial Building on November the 16th, I believe.
Okay.
So I look up Pete Wolford's Facebook page. He's got Charlie Mannering playing. Jay Snyder, comedian, is going to be there.
Yep.
It's going to be at the Memorial Building.
Good
Look
deal.
it up on Pete's page. So, yeah, I told Pete I'd give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There you go, Pete.
There you go, Pete. We got you covered, Pete. Anything else, brother?
Thanks for coming on, Jered.
Yeah,
you got to
man,
commit to doing it again.
Yeah,
You go out there again.
We're going to keep you on the adventure side of things.
Yeah,
So keep
we'd like
posting them.
to. Yeah.
I'm going. I mean, we plan on doing some type of adventure ride about every year.
All right.
Well, then you ought to plan on popping in here for the
So
podcast
next year,
afterwards.
we're hoping we're hoping to do the Northeast. That goes the Northeast backcountry discovery route.
Oh my!
Where's that at?
It goes up into Maine. It goes
Does it?
through Vermont, New Hampshire.
Oh,
I
this
bet that
backcountry discovery route's just a national thing.
everywhere now.
Okay.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
bet that'd be awesome.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
going to hit them all. I can already see that in
That's
your
the
eye.
plan. Oh, yeah.
I'll be curious to hear about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
All right. Hey,
thanks for coming
Chubbies,
on, man.
Hit that subscribe button.
See you.
See you.